The buzz is in the air. It is finally summertime in Bend. School just got out a couple days ago now, and everybody is flocking to the Deschutes River here in the center of Bend. Right here, we're at Miller's Landing Park, excuse me. Behind us is going to be the spillway, that surf wave. You can actually surf in Bend among a million other things to do in Bend and around Central Oregon during the summertime. We're going to be talking about some of the things to do here in the summertime in Bend right now in this video. So if it sounds like it's for you, stick around. We're getting after it right now.
If this is your first time on the channel and you want to know everything there is to know about living, eating, sleeping, playing, the good and the bad of Bend, Oregon and the surrounding areas, subscribe to the channel, tap the bell for notifications so you can be the first to know about what's going on here in Bend. My name is Zach Nutter. This is Ryan Rudloff, both licensed brokers with eXp Realty in the state of Oregon, and we've lived here in Bend for over 30 years and we absolutely love it. So whether you're looking to move in 9 days or 90 days, give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email. We'd love to connect with you, help you make a smooth move here to Bend.
So with that being said, we're gonna buzz around this little area here. There are so many different pockets of the Deschutes River within Bend city limits. And we're gonna show you guys what this one is all about right now in the prime time of the summer season as we go into late June and early July. So let's get after it right now. So this is literally so cool. We are just right off the beaten path of the Old Mill District, and behind us is going to be downtown, but we've got a little section of the river here that has become so popular over the last several years because of the development the city of Bend put in place with the river. We're going to be going across a bridge here in just a second. This is the Colorado Avenue Spillway, and there is an actual surf wave inside the river where people that like to surf on the coast probably that can't make it over there for the weekend can do it right here in Bend. And just one of the many different features and attractions in Bend on the river during the summertime.
So when Ryan and I grew up here, nobody floated the river. When we were in middle school, high school, you would not see many people floating the rivers. Stand-up paddleboards weren't a thing yet. So when people slowly started floating the river as we were getting through high school, where we're standing right now was a major spillway that was dangerous. People were getting sucked down it, people were dying here. So they had to figure out what they were gonna do. So they built this amazing facility. In the middle here is a surf wave, so when you're on the other side, where we're looking towards right now, it directs you to the side on the left, and they've got a little passageway down there. But in the middle is surf. So you see all these people out there in wetsuits. They go stand in line in this little rock formation out there, and then when you fall, swim out to your board, go to the back of the line, the next person's up. It's pretty amazing to watch. There's some pretty famous people that live here in town that are famous surfers that actually come down here and surf. But it's such a unique thing. There's certain times, there's a sweet spot of the year where you can snowboard, ski the mountain, you come down, throw your wetsuit on, and ride the wave down here. Pretty awesome. It's a very unique thing that we have here in Bend, and it's really cool. I actually was talking to one of our friends the other day, wondering if he would be interested in learning how to surf. I think it'd be super fun to do, right? Just another thing you can enjoy here in Bend.
I would love to learn how to surf in Bend, on a coast too, of course, but yeah, we have that option here. We're 4 hours from the coast, and yet you have a surf wave in Bend. I mean, it's so unique.
So it's 75, 80 degrees out right now. We're getting our first batch of really nice weather, blue skies. And there's probably, there's probably 500-600 people on the river today. Come next month, middle of summer, when it's 95 degrees, there's gonna be thousands of people. It will be, as Ryan said earlier, bumper to bumper traffic, absolutely nuts. This is kind of that amazing sweet spot time where there's a lot of people out, there's a good vibe, it feels very electric out here, but it's not so full that you can't really enjoy the space. Come a month from now, it's gonna be absolutely nuts.
Yeah, and there's already a ton of people in Bend. They're out enjoying the weather. Like we talked about, school's out, so it's on full vacation, summer vacation mode right now. And we're gonna zip by this park here on the other side of the river here now, and you're gonna see all those people that are out and about just hanging out, enjoying the sunshine. Because it's funny, I was thinking about it the other day, I've got some friends down in Texas, and they're probably sick and tired of their hot weather already, and we're just getting into ours right now. And you know, it's one of those things where the switch finally flips on here about mid to late June, and then we get that 90-day spell, maybe a 120-day spell of just epic weather in Bend. And Bend has so many other things to do in addition to the river, but this is what it's really all about. And so our focus over the next 3 months or so is just going to be to showcase outside as much of the things, the recreational opportunities that make Bend what it is and why it's so famous.
It's a lot more fun shooting for you guys this time of year rather than that -5-degree weather we're out shooting in this winter. But yeah, like there's just, everybody's out having a good time. You see people picnicking, they've got their coolers out, surfboards out, tubes out. Like this place is just full of fun, and it just feels so great. The wind feels good, the temperature's about perfect, but there's all kinds of little areas like this around the river here, so there's lots of spots that you can come recreate because they do get pretty full. So there's 2 or 3 other spots that are closer up to the old mill. We've got ourselves an ice cream truck here. All kinds of festivities. Did you bring any change? I'd like an ice cream, right?
We might be able to come up with some ice cream here in a second.
But
after we conclude this video.
It's just such a different vibe than the winter time, right? People will still come visit down here and walk through these trails or cruise through these trails, but it's not packed like it is right now. There's just, I mean, there's probably 200, 300 people down here at this park right now.
Oh yeah, they're just enjoying the weather. And as we continue on with our little trek here on this trail, just circles around the river, both sides. There's paths on both sides. We'll eventually get into like a little neighborhood section of the river where there are beautiful homes that are just right up on the banks of the river. And so you've got people with homes, and then the backyard leads right to the bank of the river where there's docks set up and there's rafts out there, there's fire pits, and it's just a really cool place, especially in the peak of the summertime when there are hundreds or maybe thousands of people just floating on by, and you can just kick your feet up on the dock if you like the view of something like that, because it's a pretty cool scene. And there's not many houses in Bend, of course, on a river that provides something like that. We'll show you guys what a shot of that looks like here in just a few minutes.
So if you were planning on if you're coming to town, you want to float the river, best way to do it is to park in the old mill area somewhere. You float from the old, just past the old mill, Farewell Bend Park area. That's where you get in by the Bend Park and Rec. You float down, you float along the shops of the old mill. You pass through under the spillway where we just were, and then it spits you out into Drake Park. The most beautiful part of the whole float is an area that we're about to head into right now. And there's all these beautiful homes that actually have river access. It's one of the quieter parts of the river because there's not many roads nearby, and they have grandfathered in dock access, a lot of them do, where they can actually come out and launch their paddle boards, their floaties, whatever they want, and come enjoy the water. It's pretty amazing. But yeah, and you end in Drake Park. There is a shuttle service that for a fee will take your tube, throw it in a big trailer in the back, and then take you back to where you parked. If you're visiting, that's absolutely the easiest way to do it. When we go float, we usually take 2 cars, park one up by Bend Park and Rec, park one down towards Drake Park, and then just go back. But it's about an hour float. It's a very easy, I mean, where we were for the spillway is definitely the roughest patch of the whole river. It's pretty easy sailing, if you will. But yeah, so
it's about the checkpoint midway through the float if you do the whole thing.
Yeah, so we can kind of pan over there and kind of show a little bit more of just where we're at. And then if you look over here, you can start seeing some of the beautiful homes, and then right behind us here, another absolutely stunning home. So it's just a really unique thing. My dad said something the other day. He said, every great town needs to have a river running through it. And I started thinking about that.
That makes sense.
You know, most of the great towns I've ever been to that I really enjoyed
Have
being
some
at.
sort of water, right?
Have some sort of water, a lake or a river. So, yeah.
We are in Southern Crossing, the neighborhood right now, and there's a little footbridge up here we're going to show you guys in just a couple of minutes. And so we'll give you guys an idea of what these homes actually look like that are on the river, because the footbridge provides a great view of the west side of the river, which is Southern Crossing, and then the east side of the river, which is going to be the Old Bend neighborhood. And that's where those two neighborhoods connect at the river. So we'll see you guys in just a moment to show you some of the homes right here, just a few minutes away from this spillway here where all the action is. Okay, we are coming right up on this little footbridge that we mentioned earlier. And so you can see here, we'll just pan around, give you guys a 360-degree view. But if we look upstream, behind us there, we got floaters, we've got stand-up paddlers. You might be able to see the smokestacks of the old mill. This is that calm stretch of river that Zach was talking about earlier. And then if we pan over to our left a little bit, we'll look downstream. You get to see these homes that are right on the banks of the river here. And so you got the docks, the little beach areas, sun beaming down on the west side of the river there, but the homes are just absolutely fantastic. The backyards in pristine condition. A lot of them are like short-term rentals, but many other people just live here full-time, and this is their spot. It's just such a spectacular area.
We are literally about halfway between the Old Mill District and downtown right now. So not far from Drake Park, pretty close to Miller's Landing, where we kind of started the whole video. But this is a really neat little footbridge. We've got a park right there that has a slide down to the not to the actual river, but down to where we're standing right now. So as you can tell, there's been a lot of traffic behind us. This is a very used area. We're kind of doing this fun little loop that not a lot of people do, kind of because it takes you up into that neighborhood that we walk through. But definitely a lot of traffic in this area. And as you can tell, these houses are just phenomenal over here, especially a lot of the ones on the west side of the river. They're kind of perched up on the hill, and they've got these steps down and then they've got kind of a flat landing space. The houses on the east side of the river are flatter, so a lot of them have yards, and then access right to the water, which is pretty dang cool.
Yeah, it's awesome. These homes are historic, right? They've been built probably 70, 80, maybe 90 years old, who knows, but they are original homes. A lot of them have been torn down, rebuilt. A lot, obviously, you can't make more beachfront or riverfront property. As we continue our journey now across this bridge, we're going back into the Old Bend side of the neighborhood on this side of the river, and it'll give you just a feel for the neighborhood makeup here. A lot of historic homes, smaller homes, like we touched on, they were built back in the 30s, 40s, 50s, and this is, I mean, it's not called Old Bend for no reason, because this is where most of the people that lived here early on, this is where they were.
And a lot of so the east side of the river, it's Old Bend, right? So, but the majority of these are much older homes. When you cross the river and they go up on the cliffs, the majority of those have been built in the last 20 years. You will find some older homes, but right along the river there, those are mostly older homes that are just absolutely spectacular. You can plan on $3 to $4 million for most of those homes.
Yeah.
And a lot of these ones on this side, you don't see them come up very often. A lot of people turned these into short-term rentals before there was major restrictions. So a lot of them are grandfathered in that they run with the house. So there's not a big hurry to sell many of these. They're pretty epic houses that people want to hold on to for a very long time.
About a 5-minute stroll to downtown from here. Probably the same distance going the other way to the Old Mill District. So the central location of where we're at right now is just kind of the big draw, in addition to being right on the river. So if you wanted to zip up to get dinner, it would just take a couple of minutes. Same thing going to the Old Mill District to see a movie or maybe a concert at the Hayden Homes Amphitheater. So very centrally located, very popular area to visit, but also a fantastic place to own a home.
Yeah, there's also I mean, you've got the concert venue right there. In this area alone, you can hear the music amazing. You can hear the music on a big part of the west side of Bend, even small parts of the east side, depending on the way the wind is blowing. So if you love live music, I think we had 65 shows last year or something crazy. Tons of shows. There's always going to be stuff going on here, so this would be a great place for that. So we hope you enjoyed our little tour. We're actually just wrapping up the loop right now. It's probably about a mile.
Yeah.
There's several trails around here. I mean, you can stretch this out probably 5 or 6 miles if you wanted to.
Oh, yeah.
Went all the way on the river trail, but absolutely amazing. My favorite time of the year. It's always great to get out of the office and show you guys these places. So we hope you enjoyed this. Reach out to us, call us, text us, email us. Let us know what your needs are here in Central Oregon. We'd love to help you out, guys. Thank you for watching. We'll see you on the next video.
Thanks, guys. Have a great day.